Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss how we can create an Excel based analytic solution in which we can analyze the shipping cost and their related entities like total cost per pallet, cost per shipment and various other things. We can also have the bifurcation of the cost by the activities which any 3PL or a logistics supplier is performing, and you can also have the cost breakup by the vendors, and we will be having a look around the historical shipment. So just to start with it, we need to check that what input data is required in order to calculate this kind of KPIs and to create this kind of dashboard. Okay, so in the input data sheet we should have transactional data against month and against the vendors and what kind of activity they are performing and how much quantity they are shipping at what rate. Yeah, so in this input sheet we have multiple columns and all of the columns are explained here. So you can see that the first column is of month, in which the period by which you are entering the cost. Then the second column is the 3PL vendor, the name of the vendor or third party logistic provider. The third one is the activity type, the activity which the vendor is performing. And then there is a category and which define the type of logistic cost, and this helps to classify where your budget goes. And then there is a unit type, which is the unit of measurement, the cost, which is unit of measure, the cost is calculated against. Then there is a quantity, which is volume or unit processed for that category. Then there is a unit rate, which is a cost per unit. Then there is a total cost, which is the multiplication of quantity multiplied by the unit rate. And then there is a note. Note is something if you have some transaction which is special, which is not a generic one, and let's say it can be a rush order, the rate is very high, or it can be a special in season order where you are asking more money, and even the 3PL provider is asking more money to deliver it because of the distance, the time, the season. There are various reason behind it. So if there is any transaction, you can mention it in the notes just to highlight that. So here if you see that in this particular sheet we are using vendor A, B and C, and we have a data for 3 months around for the month 1, month 2 and month 3. And in the activity type and the category we have made them same, but you can have multiple categories against one type. Let's say in the storage you can have the warehouse, central warehouse storage or a satellite warehouse storage, correct? In the handling you can have handling while loading or handling while delivering. So these kind of bifurcation you can do as per your convenience or the kind of analysis you are looking for. So right now, just for the simplicity, I have just added the same activity type as the categories. Anyway, so once you are done with this kind of setup, you just need to provide your data that okay, this vendor in this month has billed you for this much cost by this rate at this quantity for this kind of activity, and you have to just write it down. Now what you have to do, now you have all the data for all the vendors. So now you are going to compare all of the vendors against the cost and their respective heads. So for that we will be moving to the second tab, which is 3PL comparison. In the 3PL comparison, we have various column names, and the detail of these columns are provided here. In this sheet, you can check that again the first column is the time, the second one is your vendors, which we are going to compare. Then we have the storage cost, handling cost, transportation cost, value added services, fixed cost, and the multiple other costs as well. So here what we are doing, we are just taking the data from the previous sheet and just checking that okay, on a particular month with us particular vendor, how much cost were there, and cost per pallet and cost per shipment was how it was different for different vendors. And here the goal is to analyze that how you can check that which vendor is providing you the best price, so that going further you can save your money in terms of shipping analysis, in terms of shipping budget. So moving ahead, so now this is how you are going to compare your vendors, and then you will be creating a cost summary. So now this is by vendor, but overall are you as per your budget or not, correct? What's your financials are as far as shipping is concerned. Then you will be moving into the cost summary. In the cost summary we are having multiple KPIs related to the cost, which is the overall. These are not by vendors, correct? So these kind of KPIs are important in terms of doing a comparison against the budget. And you can also check that okay, if you are going out of budget, how much budget you have consumed so far. This kind of analysis you can do here. So in the grand total cost is the cost across all heads. Okay, so this cost can be bifurcated in the storage cost, handling cost, transportation cost, and value added services cost, correct, and the fixed cost as well, sorry. So this is how this grand total cost is being calculated. Then you will be having the total pallets, so how many pallets you have moved, and this we are getting again from the input sheet. And then what is the cost per pallet we are getting if we are going to divide it with the total cost. Okay, now again the same way, it's not only the pallets moving, how many shipments you are doing, and then what's your cost of shipment. So this is also one critical KPI where you need to know that, so how much cost you need to pay in order to serve your customer. So these two are very important KPI. Now you need to create these kind of dashboard in order to just visualize the analytics, correct. So in order to do that, you need to create some sample table from which you can create some chart. So what I have done, I just copy all the key KPIs, the financial KPIs here, and then I just do the some bifurcation for the storage, handling, and transportation cost, and then I use certain formula, the same formula, correct, for the SUMIFS from 3PL comparison sheets for the multiple vendors. Okay, now we can easily create these kind of table where we can have the analytics around that. Okay, maximum of my budget is going into the transportation cost, which is a good thing, and then fixed cost is one of the minimum cost, storage cost is a 1/4, which is a significant but is still manageable, and then the handling, which is under 10%, which is also good. So this is how we can check that, okay, my cost distribution is correct. Then you can also check that how much your budget is being distributed across the vendors. So how does this help? This help in risk management. Let's say if you are having 90% of your budget to a particular vendor, then you are at risk, correct. If that vendor get failed, 90% of your shipment are going to be failed approximately, correct. So this is the one. Then you have the key KPIs here. Let's say what's the total cost is, you can check it with your budget. Then what's the cost per pallet, even they are target in various logistic companies, correct. They charge you by pallet as well. Then the cost per shipment, and then the how many shipment you have done in this quarter, and then how much you have paid for the handling cost, what's the fixed cost, and what are the total pallets were used in these shipments. So this kind of analytics you can get. Yeah, so by doing this kind of simple Excel trick, you can just create a dashboard and analytics and use it in order to create decisions in terms of financially and for any logistic strategy. Hope you like this video. And if you want this Excel, I think it will be available in the description. You can check it. Like, share, and subscribe this video. And you can also suggest your topics on which you want Excel tutorials. Just let us know and we will be happy to create one for you. Thanks for watching.